So thank you again for joining. This is a new webinar brought to you by the World Sustainability Organization and Friend of the Sea on sustainably sourced fish collagen. Only some technical information. Please write and send your questions on the chat using the question and answer button on the left top. Also, only speakers will be authorized to use the audio. We will provide the PowerPoints at the end of the webinar to the participants, and the whole video will be accessible on our YouTube page. So today's webinar's title is Sustainably Sourced Fish Collagen. I am Paolo Bray, founder and director of Friend of the Sea and Friend of the Earth, and director of international programs of the Dolphin Safe Project of the Earth Island Institute. And our special guest today is Yingying Wu, sales and product manager of PB Leiner, a company with Friend of the Sea certified sustainable collagen. Welcome, Yingying Wu, and thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you. It's my honor, Paolo.
It's a pleasure. So next webinar is going to be on the 16th of June at 4 p.m. Central Europe time about something completely different, sustainable tomato production and certifications. We work also in the agriculture field. And so our story, in fact, dates back in the early 90s with my involvement in the Dolphin Safe Tuna program. I soon realized that certifications could be a very important tool to achieve tangible conservation results. So in 2008, we launched Friend of the Sea, initially focused on certification of seafood from sustainable fisheries and aquaculture. 10 years later, we launched Friend of the Earth, initially certifying products from sustainable agriculture and farming, and now into sustainable fashion, sports, and many others. In 2022, we created the World Sustainability Foundation. And in 2023, we opened our first Sustainable Friends concept store right in the center of Milan. Currently, over 5,000 products from more than 1,500 companies in 90 countries carry the Friend of the Sea and the Friend of the Earth logo. Friend of the Earth and Friend of the Sea represent also conservation projects managed by our World Sustainability Foundation in over 40 countries. These are Friend of the Sea and Friend of the Earth conservation programs on a global map. So some of the projects are developed and managed by WSO and the foundation, while others have been selected and certified based on their tangible conservation achievements. Friend of the Sea is the only sustainability certification of products from the sea, which can potentially certify with the same logo products from aquaculture and fisheries, the two main origins. As far as further products from fisheries are concerned, these are the sum up of the requirements. So the product cannot be originated by a species whose target stock has been overexploited. The fishing methods must be selective with no bycatch of endangered species. It must not have any unsustainable impact on the seabed. It must be compliant with regulations and laws such as total allowable catches, etc. It must provide for the social accountability requirements of Friend of the Sea and have appropriate waste management and fuel efficiency. As far as aquaculture is concerned, it must have no impact on the critical habitat. It must be a reduction to negligible levels of escapes and bycatch. It must be compliant with water quality parameters, social accountability, waste management, fuel efficiency, and now also fish welfare. So in recent years, the WSO has developed and launched new certification standards which reward with the Friend of the Sea logo other products and services respecting the marine environment. Among them also nutraceutical products, in particular omega-3 and collagen, today's theme, as well as seaweeds. But let's dive now into our webinar on sustainable fish collagen. Collagen is the body's most abundant structural protein, acting as the essential building block for skin, joints, and bones. As a nutraceutical, it is processed into hydrolyzed collagen peptides, which are widely used in supplements and functional foods to improve skin elasticity, reduce joint pain, and support bone density. Beyond dietary use, its biocompatibility makes it a critical ingredient in medical wound care dressing, reconstructive implants, and hydrating cosmetics. Bovine collagen dominates the global collagen until now, the global market, with an estimated 42 to 45%, largely due to its cost effectiveness and other aspects. In contrast, marine collagen holds about 28 to 35% of the market, but it's experiencing a much faster growth. And then there are other origins, as you can see. Driven by a steady compound annual growth rate of 6.7%, the global marine collagen market is projected to expand significantly over the next years. This strong upward trajectory spans all major geographic regions, as you can see, with the Asian Pacific territory currently emerging as the fastest growing market worldwide. Sourcing marine collagen from vertebrates and invertebrates represents a powerful step for the sustainable blue economy, particularly through upcycling, processing byproducts like fish skin, bones, and cartilage. These materials undergo efficient extraction methods, such as acid or pepsin solubilization, to create a high purity collagen powder. Ultimately, this raw ingredient is transformed into high performance products that deliver targeted anti-aging, hydration, skin rejuvenation benefits. Trimming and bycatch are the parts left over after the main fish meat is removed or aquatic species is removed for food. For fin fish, this means upcycling parts like the skin, scales, bones, and head, which are all excellent sources of collagen. However, this anatomical breakdown only applies to fish. For invertebrates like jellyfish and sea cucumbers, the whole body is processed instead. Evaluating the sustainability of marine collagen requires a rigorous case-by-case assessment rather than broad generalization, which is exactly why independent certifications like Friend of the Sea are essential. Even when a supply chain upcycles processing trims from wild-caught fisheries, those raw materials can still map back to severely overexploited or threatened wild stocks. Meanwhile, for wild species where the whole body is used, such as various marine invertebrates, as you can see from this table, the underlying status of the biomass is often poorly studied and completely unknown. In contrast, sourcing trimmings from aquaculture offers a highly controlled alternative. If the farming system is certified as responsible, it represents a proven lower impact origin with verified traceability. Environmental impact of a nutraceutical supplement depends on the origin of the raw material, on the processing or production method, on its packaging, and its distribution. Several studies have concluded that the use of trimmings and bycatch, again, when available on the market, will have a lower impact compared to the use of the whole animal. This is the case of several omega-3 and collagen supplements. There is no need to catch additional fish or marine organisms, and waste is prevented. It would seem that the two critical areas on which campaigns against consumption of nutraceutical supplements have been focusing are packaging and raw material extraction. In particular, there is, of course, criticism on the widespread use of plastic packaging. It would seem that over 70% of supplements packaging is plastic, with no more than 30% of plastic being recycled in the US and other countries, and a certain percentage ending up in the oceans. For those nutraceuticals producers who cannot currently change their plastic packaging, because it also has some practical advantages, it is possible to offset your plastic input in the environment by supporting projects which take plastic from the environment, by cleaning beaches and others for the same weight amount in a verified, traceable, and certified way. Friend of the Sea is now the leading sustainability certification for the omega-3 supplement sectors, with major fisheries, refineries, and producers verified under its standard. Known for reliable audits and consumer-friendly claims, the certification is widely adopted to verify sustainability. Friend of the Sea is also expanding fast its certification to collagen from marine sources, and it has developed its certification to also other land-based origins with the Friend of the Earth certification. Sourcing sustainable collagen under the Friend of the Sea standard requires meeting strict essential criteria across both marine and or terrestrial raw materials. For marine ingredients, which is today's focus, resources must originate exclusively from certified sustainable fisheries or aquaculture operations, while completely banning any species classified as threatened on the IUCN Red List. When it comes to bovine-derived collagen, the focus shifts to responsible agriculture and land management. Environmental and process requirements targeted the operational footprint of the extraction phase, balancing mandatory essential criteria with important efficiency goals. At the essential level, facilities must constantly monitor post-extraction wastewater quality to ensure legal compliance and maintain strict chemical safety through the controlled storage of acids and enzymes, if used. Alongside these mandates, the standard drives resources efficiency by requiring comprehensive energy monitoring, a formal 3 to 5 year energy reduction plan, and advanced water recycling systems designed to reuse at least 75% of all processed water. To advance the circular economy, operations must commit to continuous annual improvement in the recovery, reuse, and recycling of production waste. The standard sets an important objective to achieve the valorization of at least 95% of all incoming raw materials within 3 years of the initial audit. These operational efficiencies tracked through robust documentation, including official waste identification forms and so on. Social accountability under the standard is strictly mandatory, with all criteria set at the essential level to guarantee ethical and safe labor practices through the supply chain. In the EU, some of the strongest laws against greenwashing have been established or are imminent. The final green light to ban generic environmental labeling without strict substantiation or certification was given in January 2024 by means of the new directive, which will have to be applied by EU members at the latest by the 27th of September 2026. The new directive's most interesting principle to the seafood industry is that sustainability labels not based on approved certification schemes or established by public authorities will be banned. As far as approval methods requested by the directive, it is clear that the certification must be compliant with the regulation 765/2008. Thus, the certification must be recognized and verified by national accreditation bodies. Well, Friend of the Sea is the only certification scheme for seafood and marine products having been recognized by the International Accreditation Forum Multilateral Agreement and by the accreditation bodies such as ANAB, Accredia, CAN, and SLAB. Friend of the Sea is in fact one of the 9 certification schemes ever recognized by IAF MLA. Among the others are, for example, ISO, BRC, IFS, SEDEX, Global GAP. No other sustainable seafood certification for fisheries have been recognized. An example, collagen is mentioned by the Italian National Accreditation Body and its endorsement of Friend of the Sea on its own website, just to provide you an example. In conclusion, collagen from fisheries or aquaculture must originate from trimmings and bycatch to be sustainable and from certified sustainable aquaculture of fisheries or fisheries. If collagen derives from farming, the origin of byproducts must be certified sustainable. WSO standards, Friend of the Sea, Friend of the Earth, always include and require social accountability, and clean processing. So a third-party certification, like Friend of the Sea, endorsed and verified by the national accreditation bodies, has now become mandatory, basically, for companies which want to make sustainability claims on their products. So thank you for your attention. We can now pass to the polls before handing over the microphone to PB Leiner's Mrs. Wu. So the first poll, you should be able to see it on your page, on your screen. What do you see as the biggest challenge in ensuring the sustainability of marine collagen today? So I won't go through all the answers. You can read them also because I see them only halfway, let's say, and not completely. And we will go through them later. I see somebody's already voting, so thank you so much for being so interactive. And now I'm sharing also the second. What is the primary driver for your organization or your clients to seek an independent sustainability certification for collagen products? Okay, I see somebody's already voting, so this is working. So at this point, thank you so much for waiting, and I'm so glad to pass the microphone to Mrs. Wu of PB Leiner. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Paolo, for this very comprehensive introduction about who Friends of the Sea organization is and what the certification mean for collagen. So today I am honored to present a little part to talk about how PB Leiner take the sustainability approach in our production and sourcing of our fish collagen. So a couple words of who PB Leiner is. We are one of the global world's leading gelatin and collagen ingredient manufacturers with 7 production plants located globally in different parts of the world. We are part of the Sustainably group, which is a Belgian stock-listed company. And in our group, it is very important that our philosophy is every molecular counts. Because in everything we do, we really always seek for further valorization to make sure that we leverage all the resource to the best possible. So when you look at PB Liners, so our markets are covering nutraceutical supplements with our premium brand Sol-Gel collagen peptides, as well as the pharmaceutical gelatin industry, so hard capsules and soft capsules, which is branded under us, our GelWorks gelatin, pharmaceutical gelatin brand. Last but not least is our Textura full gelatin and specialty gelatins brand. So today, our topic is all about collagen, and I know Paolo already talked about what collagen is, and just a couple of fun facts to add to what he already talked about. Do you know that actually collagen is the most abundant protein in your body? So approximately 70% of the skin is collagen, 30% of the bones, also up to 80% of the tendons and ligaments are composed of collagen. So it accounts for 1/3 of your total body's protein content. It's actually a very important, we call it a glue that holds your body together. And collagen is also a health ingredient. They are extracted from animal source. And we talk about the health benefit. It's really very broad and ranging from beauty to bone enjoying health, weight management and satiety, or supporting your sports activities, and also supporting mental well-being, and so much more. So collagen, with all that important benefits, that no wonder why it has been actually a very popular health ingredient over the past years and being very well known now globally by the consumers. And you see all the new product launches containing collagen are surging, ranging from supplements but surely not only supplements, into food and beverage as well. Today, the topic is about fish collagen, and was also mentioned by Paolo together with bovine collagen. Fish collagen is one of the fastest growing source of collagen. And why is it? So if you look at it, the fish collagen has a very favorable position in these growing nutraceutical markets, and consumers understand the number one benefit of collagen is beauty. And fish collagen, there has been a lot of clinical studies to substantiate its beauty benefit that are offered by fish collagen, but also its high bioavailability. But it was also mentioned that this good upcycling use of the byproduct of the fishing industry, which giving it a very, very good position in sustainability. But also fish collagen is considered one of the sources that are closest to serving the flexitarian group. So flexitarians are people who occasionally consume only, basically consider themselves vegetarian, but occasionally they could also consume meat. So this is actually a group which cannot be served by so-called vegan collagen, because there is no vegan collagen to this stage in the food market. So fish collagen comes very close as a very good offer. Now, here just a couple of examples of how marine collagen, fish collagen is recognized to support the skin benefits. And when we look at the consumer awareness, and this is a survey conducted by FMCG Group, you see over the past years, the consumer awareness of collagen, so people who have heard about fish collagen, has grown so significantly. So now, when we look at another survey, which also again by FMCG Group, you see that the global consumers are looking out for marine welfare initiative claims when they buy food, drinks, or supplements. And also very important that those group of people who are searching for those claims, they are willing to pay a premium for those products, because they understand it takes effort for industries to really make a commitment to sustainability claims. So how about PB Leiner? What make our fish collagen unique? So today I'm going to talk about an angle which is emphasizing on our unique vertically integrated supply chain, and that resembles the very high standard for traceability, for food safety, for quality, for reliability, and at last, sustainability. So we talk about, Paolo talked about a little bit about the wildlife, the marine versus aquaculture. And you see that there is only growing population to be fed. So if you look at that, we also need to and absolutely must protect our marine environment. There is limited wild-caught fish available out there. There is every year limited fishing quota, and we want to protect the sea bottom and so on. So what you see is that aquaculture becoming an increasingly important industry to feed the world population. There will be growing availabilities of protein coming from the industry, but also very important for our industry is the byproduct. And that's where PB Leiner believe we can make a differences. So if you look at our unique offering within the fish collagen, you can see that we are partnering up with the world's leading fish processor, which makes sure that we can control our sourcing and have really good traceabilities from farm to the fork. We are building a vertically integrated production site. So our fish collagen production plant is located very closely to where the fish is being processed. So we get very good on top of the traceability, but also the fresh access to the raw materials. And all that, and combined with PB Leiner's technology, we are delivering a really premium quality of fish collagen. So here you see a graph demonstrated what I talk about, this vertically integrated supply chain. When you look at our partners and its affiliate partners, our partners own some of the fish farms. They even have activities in hatcheries. They are one of the world's biggest fish processing company, and that we build a plant just as close as 5 minutes walking distance right next to that. So we make sure that everything is transferred in time and that we collect the byproducts to processing our fish collagen, and then eventually deliver to different parts of the world. So you can see what really makes a difference is this unique vertically integrated supply chain. Now, today, of course, all the spotlights are about Friends of the Sea, and that is one of the very important sustainability certificate that PB Leiner owns. We also own another sustainability certificate, which is best aquaculture practices. That together, PB Leiner is the first one actually to gain the certificate in BAP, and the only ones in the market that are obtaining both of the certificates that actually resemble a very high commitment for sustainability. So we commit to have transparent production process, very high strict standard of food safety, social accountability, environmental responsibility, as well as animal health and welfare. So I want to give you a little video. So I'd like to give you still a couple of words about our fish collagen portfolio. So at the moment, we have mainly two quality. One is what we call Sologel Optima, and this range is with having a molecular weight between 2,000 to 3,000 Daltons. It's very good in organoleptic properties. And we also have a collagen innovation, which is Sologel Supra quality. This is a di and tripeptide products. So both products are serving the interests of nutraceutical and supplement companies. And if you look at the Optima, this product is very, very good in organoleptic. And I can be very proud and say this is the best fish, the best collagen I've ever tasted in my more than 10 years alive in this industry. So it's very, very neutral, very good for any kind of straight powder repack applications, and it gives very clear color. It's just like water. You can really just compare it to water. We have also a second grade, which, like I mentioned, Sologel Supra Collagen Di and Tripeptides. This is an innovation of the collagen industry, and it's standardized for minimum 45% of di and tripeptide and ultra low molecular weight. And this means actually the product can be absorbed very fast, 4 times faster compared to the market standard. And because of the 45% di and tripeptide, there are highly bioactive components, and this is also 4 times more compared to the market standard collagen. And this product, we have preclinical studies to support the skin longevity evidence, and there are a lot more studies on the pipeline, and it's absolutely the industry innovation. And all of that are presented in a quality which is very good in organoleptic properties. Again, that's very important for our industry. And as I mentioned before, we have a lot of studies pipelines to support the claim in fast absorptions and also bioactivities in skin longevities. And just a couple of concepts, well, one concept to see how our customers in nutraceutical industry can visualize these products, collagen di and tripeptides, transferred it into final products to position it for skin longevity benefits, highlight the fast absorption, but also benefits such as helping to defend against the UV light-induced skin aging, and also helping to protect the cell DNAs. So As I mentioned, this product is highly active, and it's recommended in low dosage, lower than a typical collagen products, market standard collagen product in the market. And it's very easy to be formulated into different applications, ranging from, especially the application which traditionally have difficulty to formulate because of the large, high dosage. So if you look at it, for instance, tablets, capsules, gummies, ready to eat, or we call it mouth dissolving powders or jelly sticks, even in coffee capsules, soft capsules. Now, I would like to also go a little bit technical in terms of, I take an example of soft capsules as one of the very popular supplement format, especially I know, for instance, some of the people listening might be coming from the Italian market. Soft capsule is a very, very popular format of supplements. Also, we have here maybe some other omega-3 brands listening to the call, and you know that it has been traditionally difficult to formulate powder into soft capsules. So you might encounter issues like suspensions issues to keep mixing well between the powder and the oil, and then sometimes a particle can be hard to reach uniformity. You might require some extra processing. Then, like I mentioned, large dosage is not the best basically solution for soft capsules. But with our Solugel Supra, those technical difficulties can be reversed. So our Solugel Supra, it can be easily incorporated into oil suspension, and it can reach a high powder to oil ratio, and is less prone to leakage. So in the end, like I mentioned, because of its low dosage, and then you can basically formulate in such way that 2 soft capsules per day is sufficient to reach the benefit. So that is my last slide. So I think, Paolo, we can start the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yingying. Very enlightening presentation. It's amazing what your company is doing. We are so glad that you are in the project, that you managed to and deserve to obtain the certification, and that you are also verifying that the aquaculture production that leads to the trimmings that are and bycatch that are used for producing the collagen is carried out in a sustainable way. So there's a first question that's for you, for PB Leiner. Does switching to a Friend of the Sea certified marine collagen significantly increase the formulation cost for your brand, or is the market premium enough to cover it? The market availability, I would say, of sustainable origin.
Yeah, I would say it for sure to obtaining the Friends of the Sea standards, also the PB Leiner's sustainability standards, there is a cost to it. So for sure, we are making sure that we do everything right. We do everything up to the standard of what we define. That is embedded in the way how we position our product in the market. So it's hard to know that whether or not there is for you a difference. It also depends on how you compare this cost to the other suppliers. So I cannot say this is a black and white answer, but what we can say is that we will not compromise on the cost to produce, and we will make sure that everything is up to the standard.
Okay, great. And in the same area, there's a question regarding that is there's a question asking you, how difficult was it to get full traceability from your fish raw material suppliers to meet the Friend of the Sea criteria? Did you have to change suppliers?
Well, it's a tricky question. So for sure, in our case, we have implemented several quality procedures to make sure we are living up to the standard that we define, also up to the standard of Friends of the Sea. First of all, we have a strict selection criteria of the fish raw material supplier. So everyone who wants to be a supplier needs to really fulfill this standard. And then secondly, we will have our quality department to do audit on those suppliers. And we will make sure that we will have random check on their quality to make sure that it's not only what they say the product is, but it's also what we check on the quality. And then I think altogether, and then we have very strict incoming goods inspection plan. So all that together, we guarantee that we are only working with qualified suppliers.
Okay. And again, another question for you. Are you seeing brands ask for this certification more because of consumer demand, or is it to protect themselves against new anti-greenwashing laws in Europe, etc.? It's for you, and somehow I think it's also for us.
So you, I think. What I want to say, in one of my slides, you can see this consumer survey from FMCG Group, that there's a clear willingness for the consumer to pay premium price for that product, their supplement product, which containing the marine wildlife sustainability claim. Now, what is the motivation of the consumer to pay a premium? I think this is the consumer understands that, again, for companies, where everything you do, there's a cost to it. There is you want to do things sustainably, correctly, you cannot cut corners. So there is I think, cost differences to those initiatives. And then there is also recognition, I think, from consumer perspective to the brands that who make the efforts, and they're willing to be part of that initiative to support sustainability practices. That's, I think I'm also curious to hear what you have to say, Paolo.
Well, I think the 2 points are strictly tied together, because if you care about consumers, and if consumers are starting to demand this or expecting this, then you want also to make sure that your claim is verified, not only because it has to be compliant with the new regulations, etc., but because, as very serious companies have done over the years, you know that you need to verify your claim and your production chain, etc., through a third-party audit. I mean, this is not new. The certifications have been there for a long time.
Absolutely.
ISO, for example, and so on. So, I would add like a third point, that for many companies, not necessarily only for collagen, but imagine also seafood and so on, the companies cannot go and verify precisely, especially smaller companies, what their suppliers are doing in terms of respecting the environment and workers. Sometimes it's really complicated. Maybe bigger ones have, the structure to send internal auditors, etc. But and it's important for many other companies to have a third party going and checking these aspects, which for many years were not, let's say, vital in the production process, such as environmental and social issues, to reduce also risk of any campaigns that would occur if they didn't check all this, as it often has happened in the past. So I think there's a combination of these 3 major factors that are leading the companies to go towards serious certifications. Then we have another question for us this time. How long does it take on average to obtain the certification, and what is the overall average cost? Well, there's as far as the cost is concerned, there's a public price list available on our website under the apply area. Just scroll down the page and you will find it. So it's normally considered to be a fair and accessible cost, also because we follow the FAO guidelines for this, which aim to keep certification accessible also to smaller scale producers, artisanal producers, etc. As far as the time, of course, it's difficult to generalize because some companies have a more complex production chain and maybe also located in different geographical areas, which would make the audit time more complex. But if you really want to have an average from the time of signing the agreement and confirming that the company wants to proceed to the completion of the first audit and the obtaining of the certificate, if there are no non-conformities raised, one can expect approximately 1 month. If there are non-conformities, the company has some time to correct them and so on, so it can take a bit longer. And then a final question, that's also for us, what are the strong points of the Friend of the Sea certification? Why should the company go for your certification? Well, first of all, it's endorsed and accredited by national accreditation bodies and also by the International Accreditation Forum multilateral agreement. This means that there is somebody verifying us and the certification bodies which carry out the audit on a yearly basis to verify compliance, independence, etc., etc. That's very important because it makes a huge difference compared to other certifications. I think the other important point in the case of collagen is that we operate both in, as I explained, both in the area of aquaculture as well as fisheries, which are some of them, as we have seen, some of the two major origins of raw materials for and trimmings or others for production of collagen. So we are able, as one single organization, to verify both origins. And then I think on the marketing point of view, the Friend of the Sea claim is stronger, let's say, compared to other certifications, which are normally acronyms, which sometimes can be a bit more difficult to be understood by the consumers. So I don't see any other question here. I hope we covered all your expectations. Let me just go through the polls, the two polls, one last time. And before I show them, I recommend if any of the participants wishes us to organize in the future a webinar on some specific topic, please just contact us, info@friendofthesea.org, and we'll be glad to follow your suggestions. So let's see and publish the results of the first question. What do you see as the biggest challenge in ensuring the sustainability of marine collagen today? I will just pick the most voted one, which is lack of standardized global criteria defining what sustainable marine collagen actually means. So now here we are, at least we provide a transparent standard with well-defined requirements. And so this can be solved, definitely. So let's go to the other poll, if I manage. What is the primary driver for your organization or your clients? And I'm publishing the results. To seek an independent sustainability certification for collagen products. And the answer, the most voted, is using the certification logo as a powerful B2C marketing tool to boost brand loyalty. Okay, so we are there too. It was the answer considered as the most valuable. So I think we are all very much in line. And I wonder, Yingying, if you have anything additional that you want to say before we leave our audience.
Yeah, well, I think thank you very much, Paolo and Friends of the Sea, give us the opportunity to present the case of PB Leiner. So if there's any questions from the audience that wants to know more about the fish collagen from PB Leiner, always welcome to come to our website.
You know, that you can do that by just writing to us. It's very easy. You have all the contacts on the website. So that's it on my side. And I thank you again, Fabian, for this wonderful and very insight presentation. And I look forward to have you again on other subjects relevant to your industry. And I thank everybody for the great patience and interest and for participating to the webinar. Thank you again. Yeah, Fabian, you want to add anything?
No, I just wanted to thank you guys for having LBF and Sealship here today to present our case study. And we are very thankful for the partnership that we have with Friends of the Earth.
Thank you so much. Let's stay in touch.
Help our planet with this first step. Follow Friend of the Sea and Friend of the Earth across our social media. Like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your follow and subscription helps us spread the sustainability message to everyone. Let's build a better world together as sustainable friends.